opened my eyes to different just words in the scriptures and caused me to want to dig deeper. And so I began to dig deeper. And what the scriptures teaches us, scriptures doesn't teach that when we die, we go directly to heaven to be with the Most High. That's not what the scriptures teaches. That's what Christianity teaches. And that's what the Christian translators, in translating the scriptures, they translate it in such a way to make it seem that way. Okay? And so here in Job chapter 13, it's dealing with this truth. Okay? Because Job is saying that had I died, whether in the womb or as soon as I came out the womb, he says, I should have slept. Then had I been at rest. Now you have the Jehovah Witnesses who teaches this eternal sleep, and that's false also. Okay, but the scriptures does teach that when a person dies, they go to sleep. Okay, you do not go to hell immediately. You do not go to heaven immediately, but you go to sleep. You cease consciousness. I mean, you're in a state of unconsciousness until the resurrection. And so I want to just look at a couple verses real quick that speaks about that. And again, this verse here in Job is speaking about that in verse 13. Okay, he says, For now should I have lain still. Job didn't say that I would be in heaven kneeling at the altar, at the throne, praising with the angels. That's not what he said. He said, For now should I have lain still and been quiet, making no sound. Okay, totally still, quiet. Okay, I should have slept. Okay, now unlike when we sleep, when we go to bed at night, in death there is no snoring, so he would be absolutely quiet. Okay, then had I been at rest, he would be resting. One thing is correct, is that when we die, we go to sleep. Now, so let's look at this. I want to look at a couple verses. What happens when someone dies? Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 7. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 7 is one of them. And I'm going to read it. If you want to go to it, you can. I'm going to call them out and I'm going to read as I have them prepared here. Ecclesiastes 12 verse 7. What happens when someone dies? It says, Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto Elohim who gave it. Okay? And when we look up the word spirit in the Hebrew, and from a proper contextual study of the scriptures, and I'm going to point that out to you. Okay, our sister French Jam said she's coming out of the Adventist church and they don't teach. Okay, they don't teach eternal sleep or soul sleep. I've talked to people that it sounds like that's what they're saying, and I've heard some, but maybe I'm wrong there. Okay. Could you explain that for us, what they teach? If you have a mic, that would help us greatly. If not, you could if you could type it in, that'd do good also. Okay. Well, if it's not too much to ask, if you could just put in there what they teach, that would be helpful. Don't want to be a false witness. Okay. Okay, so what the scriptures teach is that Ecclesiastes 12:7, Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto Elohim who gave it. Okay, take your time, Akot. I'm just going to continue to read these verses while you post those things. Now, again, when you look up spirit, the nefesh, spirit is simply the breath of Yah. A spirit is not a being that dwells deep down inside of us, as the scriptures tell us. It's not a being that dwells deep down somewhere on the not as the scriptures, as some people say, okay, but spirit is simply the breath of Yah. Okay, so then shall the dust, we are made of two things. We are made of dust, and we are made of the breath of Yah. This flesh is made of dust, and that's where it came from. And so Ecclesiastes tells us, then shall the dust return, speaking of the flesh, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto Elohim who gave it. Okay, James? Okay. From what are you... Now, it seems like that is what they teach also. They also don't believe in the secret rapture. Absolutely. There is no secret rapture. Okay. Well, if that's the case, and that's what they teach, I do apologize. I've watched some of their stuff, and it seemed like they suggest something else. And I'm going to continue to go through this and let the scriptures continue to speak on it. All right. So if that's what they teach, that's what the scriptures teaches. You know, it says, then shall the dust return to the earth. Again, the dust, speaking of our flesh. And the spirit shall return unto Elohim who gave it. And again, the spirit is not this being that dwell deep down on the inside of us, you see, but it's some of their teachings are definitely off. But it is the breath of Yah, the nefesh of Yah. You have the nefesh of Yah and you have the ruach of Yah. And the nefesh is simply the breath, and we're going to see how the two ties together. James chapter 2 verse 26, for as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead. Okay, so what happens when we die? As the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead. And what James is telling us, that when the spirit leaves the body, then we become dead. Okay, the body becomes dead. Okay, in Job 27:3, all the while my breath is in me, and the spirit, the nefesh of Elohim, is in my nostrils. Okay, and the point here is that the spirit returns to Elohim, and the spirit is not this being, but it is simply the breath of Yah, the nefesh of Yah. It's air that Yah breathed into us. Okay, and we're going to continue. Okay, so I'm just reading here. Although I don't consider myself a part of them anymore, they are not a cult. Anyway, I'll not say any more on that topic and just continue to listen. Amen. Okay, so in Nefesh, James 2:26. Okay, so for the body without the spirit is dead. Okay, so the moment that the spirit of Yah leaves our body, then we are dead. And Job 27:3 points that out again. All the while my breath is in me. All the while my breath is in me. And that breath is the breath that Yah breathed in us. Okay, his nefesh is called the spirit also. All the while my breath is in me, and the spirit of Elohim is in my nostrils. Okay, and that spirit returns to Yah. Genesis 2:7. And Yahuwah Elohim formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And so, you know, we have been taught that the soul is this being that dwells deep down on the inside of us. But according to the scriptures, the soul is a combination of the breath of Yah, the nefesh of Yah, and the flesh.